was born in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico in 1963. My mom and dad each met each other in Puerto Vallarta. We got back down to Cabo San Lucas in 1970. Our first family trip was 1970, 71, and that was when my father acquired the property here in 1971. Well, the philosophy has always been take care of the members, take care of the staff, and again, take care of the members and take care of the staff. And if that all falls into place, everything else is going to come true. And it's been my mom's, as the family matriarch of the business, as well as for our family, she's right. We've done everything that she's asked us to do. And I would say that Club Cascadas, its members and its staff, are a very unique environment here that we opened up in 1986. And we still trudge along doing sales, doing rentals, and continue to improve our property for our members. That's what we look like after Odile. My dad was the word was used earlier today, a maverick. He didn't follow the normal path. He trudged his own way through everything in life. And when he first discovered Puerto Vallarta in the late 50s, before meeting my mom, he was known as, El Rey, the king, sometimes the crazy king, meaning from the local people, were very few foreigners in Vallarta at that time. So my dad's dynamic in his leadership was to press on, to push forward, to not follow the common procedures. And where my mom is a little bit more of the opposite, like, oh, Ed, we're supposed to do it this way and we're supposed to do things that way. And she actually was energized by his leadership, but also my dad needed somebody like my mom in his life to be able to guide him in certain areas to allow him to be the person he became. I would have to say the biggest life-changing event in my life was the passing of my father. It was so sudden, nobody knew that it was going to happen. We were at a family gathering up in Colorado, and my dad flew down here on some business, and he had a heart attack. I will say this though, as sad as that event was, there's a silver lining. My dad grew up with no money, a very poor childhood in the Depression in America, and he never wanted to live like that. He wanted to provide for his family. And that's the legacy, because it's really perseverance, forge your own path, work hard, be the first to work, the last to leave, love your children, love your family, and treat the people around you with respect. The architecture of Ocho Cascadas is unique, even in Vallarta and I think even worldwide. It's an iconic building, and the family legacy. I would love to do another project here in the Los Cabos area. I think we have something very special that we could find the proper partner and be able to work something out that's something, with our membership, with our people, would work out for all parties. And to leave my children, I don't know what more I could leave them than what I was taught, those same values. And I have wonderful children, and I am very fortunate and blessed for the life that I have, and we all work hard for it. So it feels good to be time in my life. I think the legacy right now is to make sure that I am there to support my children and to be a good father.
Mark's father was truly a visionary architect and an artist. So we were involved in the marketing and sales. We were hired by Mark's mom and dad, myself and Fernando Gonzalez. We had a company called Gonzalez Asociados to come in and do the marketing and sales here in 1990. Okay? So as we began to market and sell, by the time 1993 came around, it was obvious that we were going to run out of inventory, that we were selling so much that essentially we were going to run out of inventory. So Fernando, along with the Vallarta partners, purchased the land across the arroyo here. They purchased it from Grupo Giddings, which was the Plaza Las Glorias people. So they had an initial architectural drawings done of the 6-story buildings and everything else over there. So Fernando we were having lunch with Ed, and Fernando brought the drawings to show him to Mark's dad, Ed, and say, hey, this is what we're going to do. Would you like to participate in this? He got the plans rolled out, and he grabbed the plans, rolled them right back up, and said, "No, thank you." The reason is because to him it wasn't art. That was just boxes that were being built out of concrete. And so it was a very interesting, yet very honest response from Ed Giddings. You know, no, this is my vision's here. This is my art, and so it was really cool. Right on the spot. Fernando's not used to being shut down like that. He was not accustomed to that. With Fernando, he gets pretty much what he wants. But at least in those days, I'm sure it's probably the same. Well, I remember many a day working here, marketing and sales, and Mark would come down with his buddies, and they would be, they would terrorize the neighborhood. They were more interested in jet skis and surfing and enjoying life. And I talked with Mark's dad, Ed, a few times, and he kept telling me, I'm going to get Mark involved in the business. I'm going to get Mark involved in the business. And I think Mark had some other ideas back then. But I know for a fact that he would be absolutely proud of what Mark's done to revitalize the vision that his father had here. Because for the last 5 years or 6 years, Mark has been responsible for the remodeling of all of the villas here, and taking his dad's architecture and updating it to a more modern, but still very Giddings artistic look. And I've got to tell you, it's fantastic the work that he's done. And I say that because I've been witness to it for 35 or more years. So I think that's a hell of a legacy. And Mark's father passed away unexpectedly August 5th, 1993, right here at the villa. He had a heart attack, and he was just in his early 60s, and nobody expected that. So a lot of people had to grow up a lot quicker than they wanted to. So anyway, I'm certain that he would be absolutely positively proud of the legacy that Mark has picked up and carried on for, in his name.
When did you realize that Mark was going to be a great asset to Ocho Cascadas?
Well, I think I always knew. I think it was every man has his time when he's ready to grow into his shoes, but he has to grow into his own shoes, not into his father's shoes. And I think when Ed Giddings passed, it left a big void. And took a couple years, but Mark stepped right into that void, and along with his mom, and really took the lead from all of his brothers to be able to support the Club Cascadas de Baja, the Giddings business here. And not only that, he grew into it, ended up kind of becoming the CEO, really, for lack of a better term, really kind of, with his mom, they run the entire deal. They completely remodeled and almost sold out Ocho Cascadas and Puerto Vallarta. The remodel here is going well. It's kind of difficult because there's very little time when the buildings aren't occupied, so they have to work around that kind of stuff. But I think I always kind of knew them, hoped, and knew that Mark was going to grow into those shoes, and he's done. He's grown into it and some. I mean, Mark's his own man. He has a lot to be proud of.
Ed is not just a friend of mine; he's a family member, and like you mentioned, we've been on this journey together for close to 35 years. And at the beginning, he was right. I was more of the beach boy, wanting to get in the surf, wanting to fish and to dive, and he was hardworking here. And my dad, he did end up eventually getting me up there as a liner. I didn't like that because I'm a builder, but I did it for my dad. And but through the years, Ed has really been like a mentor to me. He's an incredible developer. He's a wonderful friend. We've golfed together. We sometimes hang in the same kind of circles, and I would bring friends down from California and call Ed up and go, "Hey, can we golf?" He says, "Yeah, I'm not going to be able to make it, but go ahead." Always kind. His family's wonderful. I know his daughter really well, one of his daughters, and I lean on Ed a lot. He has trudged Vallarta, and he moved over here when we got him to come to Cabo, and he's been nothing short of a dear friend. And in my field over the last 20 years here in the family business, as a builder. Ed is an incredible builder. He's an incredible friend. And, we tried to get together a few years ago on a piece of property, and it looks like, we're still talking about doing something maybe in the future. So the door's always open. And with a person like Ed, it's like, you're going to get the real deal. He reminds me a lot about my dad, to be honest with you. Ed also trudges his own road, and I admire that in a person. So it's a blessing to have Ed Hooten in my life. Hi, I'm Mark Giddings. I'm here representing the Giddings family. My title here at Club Cascadas is Architectural Designer, Project Manager, and we're here at Club Cascadas in Cabo San Lucas.